Welcome to the Morning Sanity Check, where we talk about the different pillars of resilience: spiritual, physical, social, and mental. Join us so we can talk about it, then be about it. Let the show begin.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are you? Welcome to another Sanity Check. My name is Seth.
And I'm Camille.
And we're here to help you make sure you are okay and you are staying sane. So while everyone is getting on the show and saying hello, hopefully you all saying hello and letting us know where you are right now on this side of the dirt, right? Make sure if you're on Facebook, go to streamyard.com/Facebook so that you can give your comments and everything. Camille, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. Another good day. Happy to be alive and be able to share this platform with you today. So
yes.
All is well.
Yes, likewise. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into it, what we have to do, we have to take a moment to give a shout out to our sponsors. And today our sponsor is the Provident Place Home Health. Okay. Research has shown that aging people and people with medical conditions and or disabilities stay healthier with social interactions. So this agency benefits the community by promoting mental health. It also helps clients transition from dependent living to becoming independent by using independent living training. So the Providence Place focus is one-on-one support, and they're home-based alternative to facility and hospital care. So their number is 314-736-1919. Make sure you check them out, okay? Make sure you check them out. So, Miss Camille,
Yes.
How you doing?
Good. It's been a good week. I had another little going away today, or not today, on Wednesday with some folks at the Resilience office.
Oh, okay.
And that was amazing. And they got me an amazing gift. So
What they give you?
Yeah.
What they give you?
They made me a little plaque, and it had my name with all the beautiful words that I love. Hold on, Julia, go look in my room right in front of the TV and bring me that little plaque that says Camille.
Look at her, y'all. Look how they love her, everybody. Look how they love her. Good morning,
Yes.
everybody. This is my brother Sam. He's over there in Ghana. How you feeling?
Hi,
Right?
Sam.
Yes, and King, what's going on, brother? Hey, can you dig the shirts? And look, we're doing green today. Right on. Yes. How you doing, Miss Lewis? Good morning.
Yeah.
So what you got your gift?
Yes, I got it. So this is my gift.
Oh wow! Look at that.
And it
All
has all of the words that I love, and it has the Wingman coin in there from the base, and then they all said some kind words on the back and
That's
stuff.
beautiful. That
Yeah.
is beautiful. That's nice. Nice. What's going on, brother? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the 5 love languages. All right. Now, hopefully you all did your homework because this is going to be a good one. So just to throw it out there, the 5 love languages are quality time, QT, words of affirmation, receiving gifts, act of service, and physical touch.
Yes.
All right. Now, again, quality time, words of affirmation, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Now, they're not all created equally, if you will, because it depends on the person. What did you find out, Camille, about your love languages?
So mine, as I know, let me say this too. I have Silas on here watching. He's from Africa as well.
Oh, is he? Shout out.
Thank you for joining us, Silas and Holly and Lily and all those folks that we love to see. So thank you guys for joining us. Oh, and my brother, Jackie's.
Hey, what's going
Julie's
on?
brother. So thank you guys.
Right on. What's going on?
Yeah. So anyway, my love language is physical touch.
Okay.
And so I have always known that. And physical touch doesn't have to be, a lot of times, in a relationship, you think, oh, I want to, be all up. No. Like I said before, I could have a finger touching you, a toe, something. It's just the connection of that person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be necessarily intimate. Mm-hmm. Like, relational intimate, but just being able to feel a person there with me is good enough for me. And when I say in a relationship, you think, oh, I really mean that.
Mm-hmm. I get you.
So physical touch is one, and I'm always, I grew up that way. My mom would always touch me a lot. I touch my kids a lot, their faces, their whatever, just that physical touch. And, with that being said, physical touch is so healing. Mm-hmm. Even in hospitals, premature babies and, babies that are born, they need that physical touch to thrive. Mm-hmm. The ones, they did studies that showed the ones that were left alone were more likely to not recover, or to die or stay sickly than the ones who received touch and hugs and love in that kind of way, in a physical way.
You're right. So it makes me thrive. And that makes a lot of sense. But I would also like to say that it changes. It's like your palate. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, if you guys know what I mean, comment. If you were in a position or a certain stage of your life, it's like you used to like this, and then now you like something else. But you have to understand that shift, okay? You have to make sure that you understand what's going on. So, for example, I used to love that physical touch, right? And not necessarily, hey, I just need to be around and just all of that, but it just used to be real huggy, and touchy. Nothing inappropriate. We're going to talk about that later, all right? Keep your hands to yourself, all right? People backslap you. But as I got older, I realized, like, hold on, I don't like that all the time. You get what I'm saying? And so, like, I can be there, but it's almost like my physical touches, I'm cool with a elbow bow, a dap up real good, my beautiful lady. Butt slap, pow, real quick, and I'm going by my business. You get what I'm saying? But all that, the whole cuddling and snuggling and I can't do it. I don't know what it is. It's like I grew out of it.
With that being said, physical touch is a touchy one. I mean, it's a kind of a different one.
It is.
And I say that because typically your primary love language doesn't change much. Mm-hmm. What changes is the circumstances surrounding it.
Yes.
So if there's any trauma associated with certain physical touch, even though your primary love language may be a physical touch, there's certain ways of touch because of traumas, because of abuse, because of things like that are no longer acceptable. Mm-hmm. And so there's that inner conflict. Like I'm a touchy-feely person. Mm-hmm. I may, I love to be in that space, but because there are some things that happen to me now, all touch is not safe.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so we have to learn how to identify, especially with the physical touch, to identify those triggers and to separate sometimes the two, or be able to vocalize with your partner, yes, I love physical touch. However, I cannot have this type of physical touch.
And there you go.
It makes me feel a certain way.
Right.
And nothing against you, but this is just as a result of some of the things that I've gone through. Mm-hmm. So when we're like, oh, we don't know why, and I'm a really, really touchy-feely person as well. But because of some things that happen, there's things where I literally, when somebody would touch me, or I would cringe, like literally almost ball up and I'm like, oh, that's not okay,
Right.
And it's not that they were doing anything inappropriate. It was just as a result of my own trauma.
And that, yeah, and that makes sense too, because and just before we get off of the physical touch part, your energy, including your love languages, physical touch, that is an energy that is transferable to or from person to person, right? So what they, like you said, what you have dealt with is going to help either translate the way that you love and how you receive it. And that's what we need to make sure we understand. So what I mean by that, and thank you all for if you took the quiz, right? And look, your mom said she took the quiz. Hers was words of affirmation. But so the thing is not only do we need to understand ours and really do research, right? And kind of dig deep, like, okay, why do I like that? Or why don't I like that? Because it's going to get to a point where you may be in a relationship with an individual that don't like what you like, but you have to be able to articulate what it is that you like. What you think about that, Camille?
It's absolutely that communication piece through all of the love languages is so important.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And just because we do a quiz that says, okay, my primary love language is physical touch, there's some boundaries to that.
Yes.
You know, and so we have to, or quality time, defining what quality time really is for you, or words of affirmation, you know, because you can use and abuse people's love languages.
Yes.
You can use them some more or weaponize them to get what you want.
Yeah,
and
manipulate.
it no longer becomes effective. Or people, you know, they can see right there, but like, okay, every time you want something, then you come telling me how beautiful I am, and I, you know, and so then you lose that trust. But that communication of what the boundaries are, what's appropriate and inappropriate, what words of affirmation mean to you. Because just because I say it, there's different things that I need to hear. You know?
Yes.
And so you can't just say anything thinking that it's the right word, or because I called you beautiful. You know, and I'm just using this as an example, and not to say that this is me and it's not, but like, I know I'm beautiful. I don't need you to tell me I'm beautiful, but I need you to tell me I'm smart. You know what I mean? So like those affirming what I do rather than the outside beauty or who I am as a person. So we have to try to, as much as possible, articulate that to our partners and people that we're in relationships with.
Yes.
So that they get it right.
Yes, and that's the key. You have to. But before we go into it, again, ladies and gentlemen, hey, what's going on? It's my brother over here, Ernest. He's waking up. All this. Hopefully you're doing well, brother. Looking good. Hey, but good morning, everyone. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the 5 love languages. All right, 5 love languages. And hopefully you did your homework so that you can know what yours is. And we're going to open up the lines here pretty soon so we can give your, you know, so you can talk about what you think and how effective it is. So I'm going to talk about mine a little bit. So mine is words of affirmation. However, the way I give it is acts of kindness, right? Or acts of service, if you will. So, but at the same time, I don't need to know, I don't need you to tell me, yo, you getting it in, you getting it. I don't need that, right? Because I don't listen for that. But the way I receive, let's say, those words of affirmation is more of positive, you know, affirmation based off of what it is that I'm doing, especially if it's coming from a right place, right? But if the first thing that you're doing or saying is like poking holes or almost like demoralizing, it's like, okay. Because it's like this, if my love language, if I feel loved when that's happening in a positive way, I'm feeling picked on when it's given in a negative way. You see what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, we got to understand the energy that comes behind what we receive. Meaning, if it, like you said, if it's physical touch, you like it in a positive way. But that same energy, if it's given in a negative way, you're going to get the opposite reaction. So keep in mind, it's not good or bad. Essentially, it's all about intentions. So when you receive it the wrong way for you, your whole everything is going to shift because you're getting that love different. Yes. Right. But so yes.
So I wanted to
Good
I wanted to
morning.
talk a little bit about the quality time because
Okay.
I was fortunate to be able to go through this seminar with Dr. Chapman years ago. I think it was 2009, if I'm not mistaken, 2009, 2010. And with quality time, and with all of them, I want to talk about some of the language. So sometimes we miss big clues about our partners and also with ourselves. So with the quality time, it's really about focusing on your attention on the person. It's not just being in a room with them, because
That's right.
I'm guilty of that. I don't like, say, watching TV, or I don't like to do certain things. So I just sit there and I'm like, okay, my presence is enough. You know what I mean? But it's the engagement with that person. It's that one-on-one quality time. It's that talking about your feelings, your emotions, what your thoughts are and things like that, that you are connected to that person. They have your full attention, your full everything, energy, all of that. It is just you and them, and it's that intimacy between the two of you that's important. Not just you being there, oh well, I'm here with you, that should be good enough. And then the other thing with quality time is the language. So there's some things that I had put down here, because there's sympathetic listening, which is really they need you to understand their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions.
Yes.
And it's that maintaining the eye contact. And it's, they don't like for you to be distracted. If you're engaged in a conversation and they want you there, then you need to leave your cell phone in another room so that you don't pick it up, because then they feel like they are not priority to you.
That's the key.
And that starts to speak something else to them.
Right.
So quality time is not just there. And like I said, it's a sympathetic listening. And then it's listening for feelings and listening for those emotions, those undertones. Because a lot of times you have to kind of decipher the message a little bit.
You have to.
You have to. And because feelings are kind of ambiguous sometimes, you know what I mean? And you have to listen for the language of what they're really saying. And that's going to take your full attention. Yes, like Lily says, it feels like you're being ignored, like you're not being heard, especially when people are like looking and, I got to do this and checking my watch and all these types of things. And the other thing is the self-revelation portion, which is really, really hard to do. And it's like we've learned a lot of times, some men, that whole it's not okay to cry, where you may have all of these emotions. And I'll say the difference between like words of affirmation and quality time is one is what you hear and one is what you feel.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? So they suppress all of these emotions, and then there's this struggle between, can I really act on it because I was told men don't cry or stop whining or all this stuff, but I really need to express these emotions, and I need you to be present with me in these emotions that I'm feeling, but I don't even communicate those.
Right.
So you have to do some self-reflection. Am I making it or saying it in a way or that my partner can understand that it's about my feelings, even though I don't express my feelings
And yes,
outwardly very often.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have to self-reflect and say, well, am I communicating my need in a way that they can understand so that I can really get what I need?
Absolutely. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, that's the whole point of knowing your love language, because what will happen is you will assume that individuals know you just because they've been around you forever, that they should know what you know or how you feel. Stop playing that game. That's not reality. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason for the sanity check, right? So you're not walking around here crazy as a Betsy bug, thinking that what you're doing, everybody should adjust to. No, it takes time and it takes effort on your end to be able to help individuals to love you correctly. See, we have to teach people how to love us, but we can't teach what we don't know. Exactly. You understand? So if you don't know how you need to be loved, then who are you going to hold accountable for not loving you correctly? You get what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, and we heard it all before, we go say it. All men are the same. All women are the same. So look, let's take a step back and look at the common denominator. You see?
Right.
So if you learn how to love yourself, then not only will you're able to teach individuals, but they will be able to see it. You see, some things you don't have to say, right? And because there's individuals out there, certain individuals just don't cross them a certain way because they exude a certain energy of, hey, this is how I love me. So if you want any of these cookies, if you will, hey, this is the type of love I need because I know that. Instead of saying, you know what, these men just don't, or these women, they all the same. No. See, it's like it's an aroma that we give off, ladies and gentlemen. It's what do you call it? Your pheromones. You see, your pheromones, and it can give off mixed emotions because if there is something that's lacking within you, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but if there's something that's lacking within you, we would essentially want to give that to someone else because we don't want them to go without thinking that's not what they need from you. Because, hey, that's your problem. Not, you know what I'm saying? They don't need that love. Like, hey, well, look, since I ain't, nobody really hugged me enough when I was little. Now I just need to hug you to death. But if my love language is words of affirmation, I'm like, hey, just tell me, just tell me to get off of me, right? Yeah. What you think about that?
I mean, and that's true. Like you said, I have some points on that too. And it happens. And then we want to, blame the other person when it's not the other person, it's us, and then sometimes we love out of what we need and we expect for them just to, to know it. But again, communicating those things and being honest, that self-reflection with us. And I just want to go back to Ernest. He said, being there and catching up on your partner's daily events and thoughts is key during quality time. And with quality time, and I'll just go back, but I kind of want to hit on kind of what they are individually, but with that one in particular, it's the why. Quality time, you may not like doing the thing that your partner wants to do.
Yes.
But why are you doing it? Because you love that person. And so you're choosing to engage in something that maybe is not comfortable for you or that you wouldn't normally do with your full attention because why? The person is important.
That's right.
The relationship is important. And they can feel that. So those emotions, those thoughts and everything. And just by you stepping out of your comfort zone and being there present in the moment with them shows them that you understand why this is important and why it's important for the relationship, which really helps when it comes to quality time, is knowing the why and being able to express those thoughts and feelings in a vulnerable way for that connection on that level. So I just wanted to, I saw what he said or whatever about that, but it is true. And it's that genuineness that people with quality time need. And I'm going to go back to words of affirmation. And those are really words that build. And again, to your point, Seth, there are certain things that you don't necessarily need certain words, but it's those encouraging ones. It's that supportive words. It's those things like that inspire you to be better, to do more. And, I'm supporting your dreams and your visions and things like that. So the words with the words of affirmation are extremely important.
Exactly.
And then with that as well, being kind, using kind words. Like you said, that whole destructive thing, it's a way that you come at me in the energy. I can say, oh, like, what you doing? Or I could be like, oh, what are you doing?
See, and that's the deal. Yes, it's the deal too. Also, your love and concern may come off as condescending. Right. See, think about it. So, like, if, for example, if you wanted to purchase a home, and first thing I say, and I know that it's too much. Watch this. Hey, we're going to go here, y'all. And so grab your cup, take a sip if you need to. I'm going to say good morning to everyone because we're about to drop some jewels. Hopefully you can pick them up. Can you dig it? But what happened is sometimes, and using this analogy, I'm about to purchase a home. Can you dig it? I can purchase it. I know what I can get and I know what I can pay for. However, you don't know You may not be in the position to purchase the type of home that I can. Watch this. And you may low key feel a little way. Right on. So, but instead of being encouraging and saying, you know what, congratulations. Oh, no, better yet, let's take the congratulations out there, because you know me, you love me, you want to make sure everything is good. But instead of saying, yo, like everything good, like getting that crib, or finding a different way than saying, can you afford that? Right. You see what I'm saying? So it's low key hating. I'm receiving hate, quote unquote, but you are being concerned. But at the same time, you're like, damn, I know I couldn't afford it. So I wonder if they can really afford it. So I'm receiving it as though, damn, you bringing, why you got to poke holes in, what I'm doing? You get what I'm saying? Now, what do you think about that? Because if we're not cognizant of our words, then the way that another individual needs to be loved, you can bring an adverse reaction because you're not listening to the words that you're saying, because the intent may be pure. See, the intent may be pure because I care. I want to make sure you ain't going to the poorhouse, but because I know if I was in that situation, I'll be in the poorhouse. So I don't know how to say, hey, either make sure everything is good, or to say, if you ever need something, let me know.
I have tools for that.
You get what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So as we know, with celebrating good news, and also with that sandwich approach to, when there's a concern. So I'm gonna share a skill that we learned. It's called celebrate good news. Yep. And it really is that in that moment, a lot of times what we do is we squash people. We, just we want to throw out every negative thing about it. First. So somebody says, I bought a house. You be like, oh, how much did that cost? Can you afford it? Can it, all this and all that. And people are like, well, dang,
Yeah, was this the right person? Was this the right person I should have told? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Still the moment, and we'd be like, oh, well, I had bought a house like 10 years ago, and, all this stuff. And then we just kind of take the spotlight off. So anyway, without going into the whole skill, what it is in that moment, you think about, okay, is it harmful? Really, really harmful right now? Is it dangerous? Is anybody going to get killed? If not, celebrate with them. See? Just say, oh, that's awesome. Even if you have a concern, right? So, tell me about the house. What did you go through? And ask all those questions so that they feel like you really care.
There you go.
Right? They're able to give you that information. And then if you have a concern, you don't got to bring it up that day. Mm-hmm. I mean, what's the difference between 5 o'clock this evening when everything is closed and tomorrow morning? Nothing.
There you go.
So you can go back tomorrow and be like, yeah, I'm happy that you bought that house, or whatever. But, did you ever think about this? Or I'm just curious, how did you go about this? Or how did you pick this? And you can form those questions in a way that are more inquisitive rather than attacking.
That's right. And what happens is, what happens is you're not able, or you're not willing to celebrate with that person anymore, because it's like, damn, as soon as I have something I want to tell them, the first thing they come out their mouth is, you sure you want to do that? You sure? And you're like, well, damn, I thought I was, you know what I'm saying?
And then nobody wants to be like that. So you just take that moment to celebrate with them.
Yes.
What does it hurt? We do that with our kids a lot too. They say something, you're like, oh, did you do this? Oh, you didn't think about. No, be happy for them in that moment. They were super happy, and you just stomped all over
Lord, listen.
Everything. And in relationships, it's the same way. And when you continually meet somebody with that, especially with, words of affirmation and things like that, they will completely shut down. And you miss the opportunity to love them and show concern later on. It ain't gonna matter. If there ain't no life or death situation, you probably didn't have to have that conversation be at the same moment.
Oh my God. And you know what? You're absolutely right. And that is the key. That is the key. And of course, and we're talking a little bit about the skill. What's most important, the relationship or the news? You get what I'm saying? So if I'm telling you something, even if it's 1,000% of stuff you don't agree with, look at my face. Yeah. Look at my expressions, right? Look at my excitement. And then think about it like this. If a person wanted to tell you something, they care enough that they want to tell you. You get what I'm saying? Look, I love you so much, or you mean so much to me. I want to tell you about this $600,000 house that I probably can't afford in your eyes, but right now I'm damn happy. You get what I'm saying? And, but the first thing come out your mouth is, "Ugh." You know this. The climate is blah blah blah, and you know this ain't a buy-ins market. Ugh, you sure? Like, okay, got it.
Yeah.
And then I say, yeah, you're right. Let me go on out the door. So you are absolutely right.
And then the other thing too is that money in the bank, right? When it comes to words of affirmation and things like that, even when we have these concerns, you know, talking about celebrating good news, I'm gonna throw this in there because this is good stuff for people. But when you respond positively, or you have kind words or humble words, you know, there's those requests and demands.
Yes.
That's what humbleness is. Those requests, and you know, I'm asking you. And so sometimes when people will say something, I go, hold on. Are you asking me or are you telling me? Because there's a difference. If you're asking me, I'm more likely to, you know, do that thing.
There you go. Asking for feedback. Yeah.
I want you to be telling me anything, you know? So I literally say that to people and they be like, will you, or can you, or, you know, that type of thing. But the money in the bank idea is that when you do that and you celebrate with those people in that moment, and you take that time to listen to what they're saying and say, oh, or whatever, even if you have concerns, again, if they're not life and death and they can wait, they are more likely to continue to come back to you.
There you go.
You built up all of this positive, you know, interest and savings and all this in that bank. So then the one time you do mess up and you start off the jump like, can you afford that? They be like, whoa. But then they'll be like, you know what? This isn't normal.
Right.
Are you okay?
They give you something.
Yep. Not normal. And so, yes, a little bit was taken out, withdrawn. However, you still have all of that built up in your savings that they're still more likely to come back to you and share good news again, and to open themselves up, and they know that you are going to affirm them over and over again. So it allows the lines of communication to stay open.
Right. Yeah. It keeps
continue to withdraw that negativity, and you demean and you this and this and that. Your bank account gonna be overdrawn. Ain't nobody coming to you no more.
Ain't nobody.
They moving to another bank.
Right. Because it ain't right. Listen, your credit ain't good no more. Right. Your money ain't good here. So that's the deal. And of course, we talked about it before, and it's in the book too. The wait. Ask yourself, why am I talking? If someone is sitting here explaining to me what's important to them, why is it the first thing that I want to say is something negative? Maybe they just want you to listen. And then keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. They always say that the golden rule is treat others the way you want to be treated. But sometimes it's fool's gold, and then the currency ain't the same. So you got to elevate it, go to the platinum rule. Okay, treat others the way they want to be treated, because just like that revolving door of affirmation, words of affirmation, whatever, you are showing me that you hear me. You get what I'm saying? If I'm telling you that, hey, in so many words, I operate great, I receive love from you this way, words of affirmation, even if you don't receive love that way, I'm telling you that that's how I receive it from you. And by you doing that, I'm able and more apt to do whatever I need to do for you. You see what I'm saying? Because that's letting me know that, hey, wow, she or he heard me and they are operating in that. Wow, let me see. You know what I mean? So now my antennas is up, and anything that I see that I can resonate with that individual, I make sure I do to show appreciation.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
We care about people that care about us, right?
Yes.
You're more likely to do something for someone when you know that they've already done something genuine for you. And let me go back to this, or to another love language, which we haven't talked about that a lot, but that receiving gifts, right? So gift giving and receiving. With gift giving, I'm going to say this. At one point, I think that even though physical touch has always been my thing, I think that gift giving was probably very close to it or right up there with it. Well, I was in a relationship that person did not want to receive my love language. Right. And so I was like, I don't really like a lot of gifts, but I realized now that it was because I just didn't get a lot of gifts or whatever. So I was like making excuses for it. But the one thing I requested in terms of gifts was it doesn't have to be anything all, whatever. If you get me a flower, I would rather you, if you can't afford anything more, I would rather you give me one real rose than a bunch of little fake ones.
See that?
And so this particular person, and then I was like, and don't be buying me. I would again rather you give me one nice rose than stop at the gas station on the way home and get me them little, them little bitty ones in that little thing or whatever. And I vocalized that, being facetious. But this individual, for a Valentine's Day, came back and got me exactly that. Gas station roses, the little bitty ones with the plastic, with the little things still. And I was like, and I hated it. I hated him in that moment. And I was like, how dare you? Like, the one thing I told you that I didn't like is the one thing that you gave me, and then it was like, well, you ought to be glad I gave you something. Oh, no, that's not how it works. Because if I just gave you anything, then that would be something. I would rather somebody give me a handwritten, card, or, my daughter, she draws me and paints me pictures. But I know that gift is from the heart. And with gift giving or, liking to receive gifts, it's important that it says, I'm thinking about you. I made this, even if it was handmade, I made this with you in mind. It's not just that, oh, I found something in the corner that I wanted to get rid of, so I just picked it up and gave it to you.
Right.
Or it was just cheap and I had forgot it was Valentine's Day and I had to run somewhere and they didn't have no card, so I got this Mother's Day card because that's all they had left.
Right.
No, you had a whole year to think about me and you didn't. So you did it wrong. So it's not always just getting the gift, but it's the thought behind it to let me know that you feel or that I'm valuable to you. So much so that you thought about it, even if the gift didn't cost a penny.
And yes. And what also helps too, it shows that individual, again, that you're listening. Ladies and gentlemen, the love language is I would say, and I'm just making up this statistics, but it's probably right because it's on the internet and you watching it, right? But the thing is 90% of being aware and listening and watching, because why would you go, and fellas, look, we know that we're guilty of it, all right? And some women are too if they lazy, but a lot of them got this extra gene that we don't have when it comes down to giving gifts. But we tend to do things, to give things that we think the other person want instead of listening and watching, right? Oh my goodness, it's crazy. I have so many stories about that, but we can save ourselves time and money, show you right, by just listening. Because if your woman is simple, right, but you are grandiose, right, and like to get it in and be, listen, picture me, right? No matter what, I want to give you what I think I want you to have. You feel me? If you say you want a new car, what you think, if I got all the money in the world, what type of car you think I'm going to want to give you versus what you need? So with that being said, listen to a person. And if they say, hey, I appreciate what you do or what you make, and then give me. Right? Like you said with your daughter's situation. But it's different. You have to listen to individuals. You'll save some time. Like you'll go out there and try to get something that's fire engine red, but her favorite color is green. Who did you buy that for? Did you buy it for you or did you buy it for them? But look, before we go on that though, Camille, because I know you had something to add, I want to make sure we go back. Pink, I see you, brother. He said, and this is going back to the communication, could that be disabling to a person? Right? To keep telling them or to have them keep coming back to you and celebrate what you perceive as a bad decision. Well, I would personally say you just have to compartmentalize certain things and realize that it might be a bad decision, but individuals have to live their life. You know what I'm saying? So when they do fall, essentially you're there with them, and then you can show that concern, because they may, as a matter of fact, they might actually bring that concern to you. My thought. What you think, Camille?
I'll just say this. That's a very good point. Hey, Mary, good to see you on here. But that's a very, very good point. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I had a troop who had in his 6 cars. He bought 6 cars in 2 years, y'all. And he was upside down over and over and over and over again, right? He's grown. It's his money. He can do what he wants to do. However, there is a consequence that happens. And there's some things that I have to do now because of his bad decisions, right? So when you're in relationships, it's the same way. So I was like, okay, I'm celebrating or whatever. Then I was like, don't you buy another doggone car, because every time you buy another car, I have to get you out of trouble.
See.
And so, but then I stopped and I learned some skills or whatever. And so the other, well, not the last car he's bought. I think he's bought a couple more since then. But anyway, that other one, I said, oh, so what kind of car did you get? He was like, oh, I got a Mustang.
See?
I was like, oh, well, tell me about the Mustang. So he's telling me and everything like that. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you finally got a car that runs. Because the other ones he was buying 30-something% interest and he was upside down over and over. Then he wrecked another one. It was just a mess. So I was like, oh, I love Mustangs. I'm a muscle car kind of girl too. And so we had this conversation and he was just beaming. The next day I called him into the office. And I said, hey, I know you're excited about this new car and everything, but how much is your insurance? And he was like, it's $300 something. I said, so the car note is this is what your paycheck. So I said, I need for you to bring in all of your bank statements, LESs, whatever, because I know that we're going to be in trouble again. And so he was like, yes, ma'am, but I was just trying to get a car that runs. And I said, I understand that, but sometimes you don't have to rush the process.
That's right.
Talk to somebody who's been there. So I ended up having to go through a whole budget and I ended up having to give him out a lot of financial trouble and things like that. But he came back and it was the next time before. And he started asking the supervisors, can you come with me to do these
There
things?
we go.
So even though people make their own decisions, they have to sometimes feel it. They make mistakes. If you create an environment of trust, where they know that you celebrate, I kind of messed up, but I can still go to them for help, they're more likely to come back before the next time. Sometimes people just got to feel it. And if it's their own money and y'all not married and all this and it doesn't hurt, sometimes you just got to go, okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay.
And then yeah.
Excuse me. Another thing with that gift giving is when you're attached to people like that, like you were talking about, you got all the money in the world. Some people, when they attach to people who like to receive gifts and they don't know, or you have to be self-aware. Am I a spender or a saver? That's
right.
I'm a saver. So it takes a lot for me to buy certain things for certain people, even though they may want them. I'm like, do you really need it? Like, in my mind. And then I'm like, okay, you got this and this and that. Why do I have to spend my money on that? Like, I'd rather spend my money for something meaningful or put it in investments or my kids' college funds and things like that than just to buy a bunch of stuff. So I have to really reconcile my own emotions concerning money when dealing with someone who likes to receive gifts. And so sometimes I have to sacrifice a little bit. Sometimes it takes me a little bit, but I'm like, okay, that person is important to me and I know that they want this. So I'm going to carve out this little bit of money and put it to something that I don't think that they need anyway, because it's not about that. The money's going to come. It's about the person and making them feel special. And so I had to reconcile that too. And so I'm very vocal about, I just don't buy any and everything. I don't like a bunch of stuff. It has to be meaningful for me. And just because I have the money to buy it doesn't mean that I have the money to buy it. So I'm kind of like that so people can understand where I'm coming from. I just don't, because I have the money, I just don't go and try to spend all of it on a bunch of crap. But when I do something for someone, then it is really something that I took the time and thought about, and that I said, okay, this person is important enough for me to go out of my way to spend the money on that thing that they want, even though I would never do that for myself, or I would never, whatever.
Now go ahead.
Sometimes receiving gifts too is the gift of you, and people take that for granted and they will withhold themselves from you. If they're not feeling a certain way or whatever, you didn't meet them where they are. And if they know that you are their gift or they are their gift to you, they will withhold that as well. So you have to kind of do some self-reflection and see where you're at in those areas and really say, okay, this is important. This person is important. And so it's important for me to sacrifice this little bit of me, even though I may not want to be hugged or whatever, or sacrifice this little bit of money to make them feel special because they are special to me.
Yes. And you're right. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the 5 love languages, and not just talking about them, but really reflecting what that means. How you receive love and how you give love, and then how to be self-aware and how to be aware of your surroundings and how individuals show you, not just tell you, show you how they want to be loved, and not imposing the way that we want to be loved on them. So it's not all about the golden rule all the time. The platinum rule: treat others the way they want to be treated. And then that's a happy situation, meaning relationship, friendship, working environment, right? If we all have a common goal. However, the way I perceive information and you perceive information, or the way you show me that you understand what I'm saying and vice versa, now we can be on the same wavelength. But you said something that was powerful earlier. An individual that is a gift giver, but they don't like to receive gifts. Wait, take that back. Not necessarily like to receive gifts, but they don't give themselves what they give other people. So ladies and gentlemen, through all of the love languages, and if you're just tuning in, not understanding what they are, we have the words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. But think about those gifts, all right? Those gifts that you have or that you give to people, but that you can't give to yourself. Come on now. Come on, folks. Listen, you want to give, look, you need quality time from this individual, but are you giving yourself that quality time? Hey, words of affirmation. You telling me you can't do anything until somebody tell you you doing a good job? Look at me in my face, everybody. And if you can hear me, put your ears closed. You telling me you ain't go do nothing unless your boo-boo kitty say you can do it? Shut up. Shut up. Give yourself that too. What you think about that, Camille?
I think that's so important, and I'm the same. Like, for me, right? I like to give. I give love out of acts of service, right? So I like to do things for people. It's so awkward for people to do things for me, and so I had to learn, and I'm still learning that one to be able to receive certain things. But I had to start giving myself permission to give me the things that I give other people. See, including time.
Say that one more time. Say it again.
I had to give myself permission to give me the things that I give other people, including my time, including my love, including spoiling myself. You know, I will spend, if somebody wanted a $200 pair of shoes, I'm just throwing it out there, I would spend $200 on a pair of shoes to give to somebody else because I know that that's what they want. You think I would spend $200?
Wouldn't do it. Listen, I don't remember the last time I bought something for real name brand. You understand?
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying. And so I want to give myself the cheap version, and I give everybody else the name brand version. And it's like, okay, it's okay for me to do the same thing for myself, because then I know how good that feels when you don't sell yourself short on something. And I didn't just get the cheap version that may only last, 6 months versus 3 years, but I spent that quality, and now I don't have to buy 5 other versions of it to fill in, because that one is still as good as new because I spent the money on that. So I had to do that, and to take myself out and to date myself and to say those words that I wanted to hear, growing up. I had to be able to say those things to myself. And so it's not as awkward saying it to other people, or if, you're in a relationship with someone who has that love language, you have already had practice on yourself. You can't give what you don't have.
Hey.
You can't pour from an empty pot.
That's
so you, in your singleness or your whatever state you're in, you have to learn how to fill up your own tank a lot. We'll talk about that love tank, but to fill up your own tank so that when you do come into relationship, you have something to pour into other people.
And see, it's crazy because y'all look, listen, it's jacked up. And wait, first of all, before I go into that, make sure y'all share this, okay? Make sure you share. It only takes 2 seconds. Hit a button, boom, just share it on your page because this is good stuff. But right now, we're still in the love languages thing. But remember, nobody, and I repeat, nobody can love you the way you love you. Right on. One more time for those in the back. Can't nobody love you the way that you love you, but you have to learn how to love your damn self. You get what I'm saying?
Because sometimes, though, Seth, if you don't, somebody can love you.
Yes.
And they will love you to no end, but you won't be able to receive it. And it'll never feel like love to you. And then you'll sabotage. So
yes.
I've been guilty.
But see, that's the deal. But see, that's what I'm saying. Then check this out. We're not looking at the common denominator.
Yes.
Like, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a step back and think about all of our situations, okay? Right? Let's think about them. Now, you telling me, was everybody out of line? Come on, hold on. Was everybody out of line?
See, right, wasn't me.
You see? So there's some things, especially when it comes down to communication, not just audibly. Okay, we get it. Some people can't hear the right words, and sometimes we can't articulate those right words. But what did we give off that caused an adverse reaction to what we were looking for?
Exactly.
Come on now. Look, hey, listen, y'all, we preaching on today. You feel me? Because we continue to do the same thing over and over, but and knocking our head up against that wall. Can you dig it? But if you don't understand the root of it all, you're going to continue to do the same things looking for love, in all the wrong places. Hold on, let me message myself. Message. Look, you know what I'm talking about? Hey, stop looking for love.
I'm looking for love
in the wrong places. You see what I'm saying? And listen, look, everywhere you look, it's gonna be out of line because the love in you ain't right. Ain't that a blip? Listen, stop going to, let me get this mic together. Stop going to all these people and all these type of folks trying to get the love that you ain't even got for your damn self.
And truth be told, like you said, you looking for it, and it's right here.
Right there, out of line.
You have to give yourself permission.
Yes.
To love yourself in a way that you may have never received love before.
Absolutely.
But you know what you need, and it's going to be up to you to give yourself that so that it's easier for you to receive that from other people.
Yes.
Because if you still have all of those things, and I don't deserve, I'm not worthy of, I've never had, I always desired, but somebody told me I shouldn't. I did. And then so we're having these internal struggles about loving ourselves and just allowing ourselves to feel how we feel and accept that that's who we are, not who someone told us that we were or how we were raised, or because our parents a lot of times don't know what our love languages are. And they love us with an iron fist, or they love us in the way that they think that we should be loved. And we grow up with this void of love. And so we have to take the time to find what love is for us and what that looks like for us. And it's often not the way that our parents displayed love.
There we go. Yes.
That whole abuse and all that kind of stuff. So we have to undo some things that we've learned, undo some emotions that we've, kind of taken on. And we have to figure out what really makes us happy, what really makes us tick, what makes us come alive, what makes us, inspires and motivates us and all this kind of stuff. So it takes some self-reflection. I'm so grateful for the alone time that I've had. And that's the truth, because I discovered so much of me. And I was like, I don't even like this. Why do I keep doing it?
You get what I'm saying? Hey, look.
And then I decided I wasn't going to do anything during that time that I did not like for myself. I wasn't going to do, I was going to stop doing the things that other people like to do that I just had gotten into a habit of doing, and replace that with things that I absolutely love to do for me. Whether that was sitting in a coffee shop or a cafe, I would go to festivals by myself. I would go to dance. I love to salsa or Latin dance, any kind of Latin dance. I love to, so I would go to congresses. I would go to all these different things that I love to do because I had no restrictions. It was only me. So why not get to know who I am? So now when I go into another relationship, I can say, look, these are the things that I love to do.
Yes.
there's going to have to be some compromise. You may not be able to dance, but can you go with me? Or will it be okay for me to go? Because this is what makes me come alive, you know? And so taking that time to get to know you, learning your love language, not the love language that was imposed on you, and figuring out what really, really makes you tick is so important so that you can articulate that to other people. So.
Yes. So you're right. You're right. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to take a little shift real quick. Yeah. I want you to get ready. And if you're not sitting down, sit down. If you're standing up, sit down. Right on. And if you need to take a little sip, get ready because we're about to go somewhere with this. Okay, let me do it real quick. Okay. Now here's the question, ladies and gentlemen, and shout out to those that's just tuning in. Good morning. It's a Saturday Sanity Check, and if you're watching this on Facebook, you can chime in. Make sure you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, and we love everyone. Make sure that you share. We're talking about the 5 love languages. If you don't know what they are, it's the words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Okay? Now, here's the next point. Okay? Who taught you how to love? Hey, watch it again. Who taught you how to love? Right. Not just other people, but yourself. Those are keys to moving forward in your relationships and the type of relationships that you have, just social gatherings. Who taught you how to love? Finding that root cause of good and bad is a reflection of what you are receiving or not receiving based off of who taught you and how you learned how to love. Unfortunately, there's no manual when it comes down to dating. Okay. What we do is we look at what social media wasn't really popping back then, but you have TV, you have music, and then the negative aspects of what music give sometimes and social media gives sometimes. We feel as though, hey, that's the way I need to treat a woman. See?
Look, so I said,
you see what I'm saying? What you think about that? Or good and bad, but it depends on how you are perceiving and receiving what love look like, and then you keep doing this and trying this and blah 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 blah. But is the intentions correct? That, or the, I guess the actions and the skills, are they meant for you?
Right.
Go ahead, Camille.
Like I said, I had to undo a lot of things. I had wrote a poem one time, and it was about, kind of like this discovery and some things that I allowed, and, things like that. But I was like, Monifa had it twisted. She was like, he's mine. You may have had him once, but I got him all the time. And then MC like talking about I need a rough neck, and then we need roundaway girls. And so we're chasing these images of what we're supposed to be like that are super damaging. And so especially if you don't have a good example of love at home, or come from a 2-parent home, or everybody in your family is divorced and things like that, you're looking at the outside world trying to figure out what that looks like for you and what these relationships are. But then when I started listening to the lyrics, I was like,
see,
okay. And then I'm like, my favorite song, one of my favorite songs used to be Saving All My Love for You, until I really got grown and listened to the lyrics. And I was like, oh, she was talking about somebody else's man.
See?
And then my mom, I remember she was like, As We Lay, Shirley Murdoch came on.
See?
Like, I always loved that song. I said, Mama, did you know?
Did you listen to
somebody else? And she was like, oh, Lord, forgive me. I just, like the melody. And I was like, yeah, we get caught up in the melodies. And these words, these messages that are going in our minds are really shaping how we learn how to love and how we operate in relationships and what we think is right. And when we go back and you look in your neighborhoods and your family, you're like, man, this is the model that everybody has.
This is the norm.
I don't know how to love. No wonder why I don't know how to operate in a relationship, because I've never had a good example, rarely on TV, not in music, not in my household, not in my neighborhoods. What am I? What does love look like? What does healthy love look like?
See?
What does right love look like? And we don't have that. And so, like I said, I've been married a couple times, divorced a couple times, a few. But at this point, I understand why a lot of those things and why I made the choices that I did, and all those kind of things. And I remember going through my last divorce, and my daughter was asking me what happened. I was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Kids don't need to know." And she stopped me. She was 11. She said, "Mom," I said, "What?" She says, "How am I supposed to know how to be in a relationship if you don't tell me what goes on?" And I was like, and then I thought about it. And I said, "You know what, baby, you're right." She said, "Well, how am I supposed to know what to do when I start dating if you don't tell me?"
And look, that was a Cosby moment, okay? That was a Cosby
moment. And I said, "You know what?" And I thought about it, and I said, I don't have to give her the dirty details of, the things that happen, but there are some things that I can teach her about these relationships in terms of that, and how to treat people, and how, how you should be respected and respect other people, and the dynamics of a good relationship, because I know what it's supposed to be now. I didn't have it, but I know what it's supposed to be. And so I can teach her those principles. This didn't happen, and here's why. We didn't listen. We didn't communicate. This was more of a priority, this and this and that. And so to teach her those principles so that she does not make the same mistakes that I made. Instead of guarding, kids to stay out of grown folks' business. Well, then they're going to end up seeing the damage and repeating that and having no blueprint as to how to make it better. They just see it. And so we repeat these cycles.
And
so even in those breakups, there's an opportunity to teach our children what a good relationship should be, or how not to feel. And if you feel these things, even if you don't know what it looks like, you know what it don't feel like or what it doesn't look like. If you feel these things, you ain't crazy. Don't let nobody tell you you're crazy. You know what I mean? It's not right. Something inside is telling you it's not right. It should feel good. It should feel safe. You should feel protected. You should feel all of these things. And so we can give them those nuggets.
And you're right.
The dirty details and turn them against parents and all these.
That's the deal. That's the deal. And you know what? You said something too that I can dig. By making sure you can communicate what's truly happening from a realistic point of view, because again, if I'm writing the story, I'm gonna make myself be the damn hero, all right? And everybody else that did me wrong is out of line. But we have to be able to close the gap. When things happen in your mind to you, it's happening for you. You have to switch that. So what's the lessons learned? If you happen to get with a fool, you got with the fool, okay? And now what did you learn from it, if you did? Because full circle, what I mean is, and I said this before in different situations, but things happen for us, but for 3 different stages. For us to witness it, experience it, for us to learn it, right? And then after we learn it, teach it to someone else. But if you can't really teach what you went through, that means you really didn't learn the lesson. Can you dig it? So then you're gonna keep doing this, okay, and wondering why. You see, and so it's going right back down to your track record. Look at your track records of them fools. He talking crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. So in order to have those teachable moments, we have to learn them. Listen, you're not going to have someone that just went through the high school teaching a college course. You get what I'm saying? It's reasons for that, but there is lessons in everything. So for those of you out there that has been in a situation and they feel like that they've been with someone that wasted their time, you have to change the way you think about that. What did you learn within that time? Did you learn something about them, or did you learn something new about yourself? So now you can tell your son or your daughter, hey, listen, if somebody come at you this way, you watch out. Because if you think about it, you don't want a person that you love to go through what you went through when it was hurt. Because you want to express what good people do for you. Keep that same energy and say, hey, this is what happened bad, but don't always make it seem as though it happened to you. And don't eliminate yourself from the story. Don't say, well, listen, so-and-so just used to beat on me. Hold on. Did you poke the bear? Did you wait? Listen, look. Do you got one of those smiles that just never shut up? You know what I'm saying? And not understanding that everybody got a limit. And I am not condoning physical abuse by all means. No means am I condoning that. But the thing is, sometimes we will paint a picture that somebody else was crazy as a Betsy damn bug, and they just automatically woke up one morning and say, "Hey, good morning, wow, good night."
I mean, some people do because they got unresolved issues.
True.
But here's the thing.
True. Yeah.
You typically know and you've seen those red flags before you even joined in a relationship.
That's what
or
I'm
got
saying.
married. And so I was telling somebody, they were asking me about my relationship or whatever. And so I wrote this person back and I was like, I made bad choices. I made bad choices in the person that I or the people that I chose to, connect with. I made bad choices. He was like, man, you awful. So what did he do? That's not important.
See,
I can only control what I can control.
There you go.
If I had not made the choice to do that, he would not have the choice to do what he did. And so, or my accepting, certain things or not realizing that I didn't deserve the things and walking away sooner. And so I had to take responsibility no matter what he did, or what that person did. I had to take the responsibility. And then again, the love languages. As I'm, divorced now, was I speaking that, or was I feeling, or was I, showing him love in the way that I wanted to receive love because I was so void of it. I felt ignored and I felt empty and I didn't feel like, but I couldn't give him it in my mind. I'm just saying, I don't know. He said that I was a great wife, but I wasn't giving him love in the way that he needed to receive it so that he can reciprocate it too. So I had to take responsibility for my action or inaction in whatever relationship that was. And I've chosen not to continue to blame the other person. So you rarely hear me talk about the blame. Yeah, there are some things that happen. There's some things that are unexcusable. However, I put up with it for so long, and that was my choice. See. And I could have done something differently. I didn't have to get married. I didn't have to do whatever, but I did. And there's the consequences of those bad choices.
Absolutely.
So, I rarely go back there, but I do. And I do some self-reflection. Did I love that person the way that they needed to be loved? And I know that, one of them didn't know how to love himself, and I get that. But I could have been more attentive. And I'm going to talk about this real quick because you can decipher people's love languages by what they say.
Yeah.
If they say, I like this, you listen to the words. I like this thing. I like this thing. I like, I would love to have that. Oh man, that's awesome. I would love to display that. They probably like to receive gifts.
But they're saying it though. They're saying it in the words. Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't catch those things. It's like, he likes that kind of stuff. And we never catch on the hint that maybe this is what they want. And this is how they would receive love. Or the other one is that makes me feel a certain type of way. That quality time, that engagement, that all the, that connectedness, that I'm here present in the moment with you. I'm feeling a certain way. The energy between us is good. You look like this. You look beautiful. Oh man, that's awesome. I love how that suit fits you. You smell like whatever, probably words of affirmation. How can I help you? If you have somebody that's always trying to look, how can I help you? Probably acts of service is their love language, but we have to understand that sometimes the percentage is 75% of us love out of our own love language. The other 25 love out of a different one. See. I'm one of those out of a different one. But typically if they're saying those things, then that's what they need to receive for the most part. Or, I just need you close to me. I just want to touch you. I just need a hug. I need a kiss. Can I hold your hand? Probably physical touch. Right. So listening for those underlying tones, those underlying words, you can decipher what the actual love language is. And I did a bad job of it before. And I'll admit that because I was so emotionally starved that I was like, that's the difference
between intrinsic and extrinsic. Because if you are truly loving someone else, think about like what you're saying. If they're telling you what they love, in the back of your mind, you can't say, well, I guess if for example, if you Camille say, well, I love the color green. I cannot receive it as, well, I guess she like green and keep it pushing, but I like the color blue. You get what I'm saying? She just told you to your face, I love the color green. So if the way I give love is gifts, giving gifts, don't you think I should sprinkle some green in there or something? Because out of whatever it is that I give, if I do that, at least she will see I'm picking up on something.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Then you can build off of that. But we don't do that all the time. It's all about us. Love me, love me, love me.
Yes.
You see? But
and love is a choice.
Yeah, it is a choice. Absolutely.
Show them that love in their language by getting that little green thing that pops.
Mm-hmm.
Little green earrings, $5 earrings.
See?
That make me just feel so bright and happy.
Right.
Everything you can have a $10,000 worth of gifts, but I'm gonna see these bright green $5 earrings, and it's gonna make my day. And I'm gonna be like, man, he loves me.
See?
He heard me. I saw it, and of all the things he could have got me, I got these green earrings. You know what I mean? And that makes me feel good. But it's a choice to listen to our partners, to do those things that they're asking us, even if they don't ask us specifically. We can choose. And people always say that, I fell out of love. You can choose to love a person, or you can choose not to. There's no time limit. There's no, you can just choose. Love is literally a choice. And then you can choose to unlove a person as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are those things. And you wonder why people can just walk away in a minute. They made a choice that they just don't want to be here anymore.
And
they don't want to love, and they don't want to invest anymore.
And so with that being said too, we can control, like you said, love is a choice, but we can control and meter our love intensity, if that makes sense. Because if I see how you receive my love, not necessarily as positive as I think you do, doesn't mean I don't love you, but I'm going to dial back on how much I love in that capacity, because I could be depleting myself. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, while we're talking about the 5 love languages, it is energy given and energy receiving. So we need to be mindful of our love barriers. Okay? Meaning not everybody is going to dig what you have to offer. So does that mean, hey, look, since I can't pour this all on you the way that I need to pour it on you, that I don't love you the way, am I loving you less? No, I'm just expressing it differently. Mm-hmm. But the love is still there. We have to be cognizant of that and watch our mouth, because if you tell the person, well, you know what, I just don't love you no more. No, I still love you, but I love you this way. You see, exactly. That's the key. You have to be able to compartmentalize. If you can compartmentalize your cupboard and people, you have to be able to compartmentalize your love, because ultimately we can embody all of that type of love for ourselves. But if we're giving and pouring, like we talked about earlier, into a cup with a hole in it, or watch this, a plastic plant, right, and you ain't getting nothing out of it, right? Look, you gonna get tired, and then what if you need that love, and this right here ain't bearing no fruit to give back to you? Watch out now.
Well, let me say this, Seth. So, there's this thing, and I feel like love is one of those things that is very, very abundant. We withhold to hurt. But I think that if we're giving ourselves love, or if we find that one person cannot love us, they can't give us all the love we'll ever need, right? So we have to learn how to love ourselves. So we can fill up our own tanks, and we can get love from other places as well to be able to pour out. But so this Bible scripture says, given it will be given to you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Right. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, is love is one of those things that, it's just an abundance of. And if we display more love, we would get more love. The measure that you give it is what you give back. So when we're talking about these relationships, and love is a choice, sometimes when you start to love people right, not just love them in your way, but you love them in the way that they need to be loved. They don't even understand it. All they know is, now I'm full. I'm full. And they begin to start running over, which pours back into you. So once their love tank is full, because you're speaking to the language that they can receive, now they're able to give maybe what they didn't have before. So now their tank is filling so that they can pour back into you, and they start seeing. And it's important that we listen, because once they start to feel that love and they're like, oh man, I'm feeling this way or whatever, they will start articulating. If you're off, they will let you know and say, oh, well, oh, thank you for doing that. I would have preferred this. We could have been like, well, he's ungrateful, I gave him this. And then we start withdrawing again. Or we can say, you know what? Got it. I tried it. He received it. He told me what he wanted specifically. And so I'm going to do that and continue to pour in them so that they can fill up their love tank to continue to pour out to us and to others. So love is abundant, but we withhold it and it hurts. And whether that's a lack of words, a lack of presence, a lack of presence, a lack of present, either one.
Yeah, spell it for it. Yeah.
That quality time, lack of listening, or whatever it is. Once we start to do that, the love is reciprocated. Even when they don't know how to, all they know is I'm feeling all of these things and I'm doing it. So now, like we say, we care about people that care about us. And now we want to give back to them what they are doing to us, which is why love can be, or when people say they fall out of love, that can be reversed. Because when you start speaking to the heart of that person, then they want more of what feels good. And so they start doing those things over and over again. So that's just that part on it.
No, I get you. Now, how about this? Now, let's flip it. Because I'm a flipper. So let's flip this. Now, we talk a little bit about the love tank, loving ourselves, right? Let's talk about us right now. And you said something. Part of that scripture, you said something. If you give love, and love will be given unto you. We need to understand that. I'm gonna say this right. I'm gonna try my best to say it right. If y'all can understand this, make sure you type in, I can dig it. All right. Because I don't want to go too above and too below. I want to go right there. Bow. Yeah. So check this out. Sometimes the octane that you have is not equipped for the vehicle that you want to pour into. You dig? And sometimes your vehicle cannot take the octane that someone else have. However, giving that love, I do believe, just by giving that love, you may still receive that love, but it may not be from where you think you're supposed to get it from. So what that means is there's times when we can expect people to give us what we want them to give us, but they may not be molecularly structured to do it. You get what I'm saying? Because that's just not them. Don't get me wrong. Love languages is a way that we receive and a way that we love. Some people are willing to learn how to love you, but some just cannot. But that does not mean you should love them less. But you still do not go through life without it, but just be cognizant of different ways to receive it. And it doesn't have to be other people. Yeah, I'm about to get this other girl because, she say I look fly and you my old lady and you can't say I look good every day. So no, that's not what I'm saying. Right. But what I'm saying is you need to understand that not everyone is built to give you what you need, and nothing is wrong with them. What you think about that, Camille?
I think that's true. And love is a choice, but then we also have choices in who we connect with.
That's true.
And typically there are signs prior to of the capacity that this person can love. Now, some people, they surprise you, and people grow, and, life circumstances will change the way that they love and things like that. But oftentimes we settle a lot. And then we expect them to give us premium octane when their car can, or all they can give you is regular gas.
Yeah, because they're jalopy. But look,
gumming up your system.
See, now listen, look, God made them to be a jalopy. Okay, if they're a jalopy, it's okay. Let them be a jalopy, but look, let them be the best damn jalopy that they supposed to be. But you can't expect them to give you Porsche outcomes if they. You see what I'm saying?
Even if they do, a Porsche will still run off of regular gas, but it will not operate at its premium. It will not operate in the way that it was designed to do.
You go
for a minute, but it can only go so far on
That's
that regular
it.
gas.
Yeah.
Start messing some things up. You know what I mean?
Say that. See, that's the deal. It can only go for, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if y'all picking up what we putting down, okay? But we talking about love languages, but we have to be able to give people what they need, okay, to operate. If they've expressed, if they've shown, if they, if they're giving you all these hints, hey, this is what I need, give them that, right? Because like you said, listen, you're not going to give a baby a steak. You dig what I'm saying? You ain't gonna give them prime rib. What you think they gonna go suck on into it? Liquefy. But find out how to give love, right? And find out who to give love to. So with that, let's go to this. And this is kind of in the same vein. Knowing the difference between your worth and your value. Watch this. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time, this is Sanity Check, making sure you ain't going crazy, especially ain't loving people the wrong way. Understanding your love languages, and if you don't know, your love languages, 5 of them. So words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Okay? Now, let's talk about the worth versus the value. The worth, your worth is inside of you. That's something that you need to know. Okay? You need to know the worth. So individuals that you are with can understand the value. What you don't want to do is not understand your worth and then individuals giving you what they think your value is. For example, you won't see Gucci at Walmart. You see? Why not? You get what I'm saying? What would happen if Gucci was in Walmart? You going to assume it ain't Gucci no more. It's Flucci. Okay? Hey, but Gucci. It ain't Gucci anymore. So, and watch this. Gucci never goes on sale because they don't have to. That means you don't have to go on sale for a fool.
Yes.
Hey, now.
I want to say this too, worth and value, right?
Go ahead.
So you can be worth something, right? So they'll say their net worth, but the value can always increase.
Yes.
And so when people go in stocks, that stock today is worth this, but they know in 10 years it will be valued at something else.
See?
And so we have to know that I might just be worth this right now, however, I know where I'm going.
See?
I know what God has in me, and I know that my value increases every time I make an investment.
There you go.
Every time I do something else, my value continues to increase. So we have to connect with people who can see our
That's
value,
what I'm saying.
and not just what we're worth right now.
That's it. And
There are some people who want to connect with your worth right now, but they won't be able to handle your value in the future.
Hey.
And so then they'll try to sabotage and they'll try to do all these things and they'll stop supporting and they'll stop. So you have to be very clear about, I'm only worth my military paycheck right now. But if I keep investing, I keep allowing God to do what he does with me, I keep growing myself and adding value to others, adding value to myself so I can add value to others, then my value will exponentially increase in the future.
See,
and I know.
Yes.
So you have to have somebody who's on that same wavelength with you, that knows that, you just may be worth this today, but in 10 years, this person, I'm going to invest in her or him because I know that they have the potential to do so much more. So yes, we do have to understand our
you have to
versus our value.
Because listen, check this out, y'all. In 94, didn't nobody know who Jeff Bezos was.
Right.
Hey, watch this. Didn't nobody know who he was? Didn't nobody? Hey, not many people cared. But guess what? He knew his worth. And if you don't know who he is right now, you somehow, some way is connected to his dream. You feel me? Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who Jeff Bezos is, he is the creator and owner of Amazon. Okay? Amazon. You understand? So you have to know your worth in order to give love and receive love, because by knowing ourselves, we can teach other people how to treat us. Okay? And we will stop going around in circles, nook and penub in all the wrong places. And then watch this. This is the crazy part. And then we can start to wrap it on up. But when we listen, nobody is putting a gun in your head for you to connect with the same type of people, the same type of food. You see? And then you sit back, why does always keep happening to me? No, you're doing it to yourself. There's some things that's self-inflicted, okay? Who put gas in your car to make you go across town to see a dummy? You get what I'm saying? Who did that? Who did that? Who pushed the gas pedal? Who put the keys in the car? You feel me? So we have to understand that the way we learn, the way we love ourselves, we can teach individuals how to love us, but we have to know what we need.
Yes.
Okay. What you got? What's your final word, ma'am?
That's exactly it. You know, learning, taking the time to do some self-reflection, to be honest with yourself about who you are, how you like to be loved, your styles of communication. You know, when somebody asks you, how I feel, well, I think this. No, it's not a think. I ask you how you feel, which is a difference, differentiating between those things so that we can effectively communicate with our partners what exactly we need. Sometimes we use like these cover words and things like that and expect for other people to understand, but no, we're listening to what you're saying, and some people are not that in tune to pick up those undertones. So we have to check ourselves and stop blaming other people for not getting what we need when we have not communicated that. But with all of that being said, and we talked about the 5 love languages and stuff, I do want to say that in relationships, and I think Dr. Chapman, he has tons of books. I have the one for teens, the love languages of teens, of children, of singles, and I also have the apologies. So there is a love language of apology. And so you have to, like he apologized and I didn't receive it. As we're talking about those love languages, we also need to know how we receive apologies, because that's part of that feeling loved when somebody expresses regret or they try to make it better in the future. So if you haven't done so, there's also an apology quiz on the love language, 5lovelanguages.com, that you can take to see how you receive apologies, so that when you have and you're in conflict with your partners and things like that, you can express to them, this is what I need to hear to believe that you're really sorry, and this is what I need for you to do or to show me for that. So I would encourage you guys to go on the 5lovelanguages.com website, and there's all kinds of stuff. They even have one for men. They have a military edition. They have a couples edition. And so we can better start now to learn how to love our children, our coworkers, our partners as they are, singles, learning how to love yourselves, and couples before you get married, how to love each other. So that's my thing. I would just say, remember, love is a choice, it starts with you. And, thank you guys too. Seth, do we have time for one call? I want one person to call.
Yeah, go ahead. And that's why I put it up there. I know we kind of got it. We kind of got deep into it, y'all. But if you guys have a statement, you can call now. The number is 618-792-6747. Okay. If you guys have any questions, or if you want to give a comment, but again, learn. You say what now?
I was about to say, Mama, the cost of stock goes up and down, but it's the value of your portfolio.
Yes, it's the value of portfolio. Exactly. And true, too, the thing is, you have to diversify. Yes. You see what I'm saying? Because if you messing around and putting everything in the same, hey, come on now, that's your fault. You see what I'm saying? Yes. And listen, yes, you're absolutely right. He was talking about that your love language has changed. And it does show, because when we grow, we love differently, because we receive and give love differently, because we're learning ourselves, hopefully. So if you guys got a minute, if you want to call in, give a comment or whatever, again, the number is 618-792-6747. Did you take a quiz recently? What have you seen? Have you seen now that, you know, you don't like to receive gifts anymore? You just want quality time.
You have a baby, you know, you used to live, it used to be about you, but now when your husband says, oh, I'm going to change the baby, I'm going to take the baby so you can get some rest, those words probably have never sounded any sweeter. But now it's the acts of service that you value more.
And seeing it as an act of service, not like a less amount of love that you're receiving, because there's some women that start to feel away when the child is getting more attention, just like men, right? If the baby is getting more attention than you, and especially if your love language is words of affirmation, but through in this period, all you're hearing is the baby this, the baby that, baby this, baby this. Hold on, I was just baby a couple of months ago. I was your baby. Why ain't the baby no more? Why can't I just sit in your lap and get some milk? Well, no, let me stop. But why can't I get that? No, why ain't the baby no more? So you can't take that a certain way. You have to understand when that love may not be displaced, but it's been shifted, and your
priorities are different.
Priorities, right? Because listen, look, she need to do something with these, and it's not meant for you right now. Understand, even though we're joking and just, but that's the truth. But understand how you play a part in the increase of love. See, and you know what, y'all? I know we ain't got that much time, but that's another thing. Your love is able. Oh, someone calling in. Give me 1 second. Yes, hello.
Hello. This is King Thomas.
Hey, what's going on, King? How you feeling, brother? What you got going on?
I'm good, Seth, man. Just enjoying the conversation that you guys are having there.
Oh, yes.
One thing I wanted to add, could be correct, may not be. The love languages, the main reason they all stick and that they are effective is security.
Yes.
Security in words of affirmation, security in the gifts, security in the touch. Everything revolves around security. When a person feels secure with their partner, those affirmations, those love languages, than anything else.
Brother.
Absolutely.
That is the key. Brother, you just said the word. Let me give you that. There you go. Yes. Thank you. That's on point, brother.
You guys are doing an amazing job. I love the show. You guys are amazing. Keep up the work. This show here is such a big show. I think you guys should do a part 2. This is amazing. You guys are doing amazing work.
A part 2 of Keem, giving that insight. Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for calling.
I appreciate you guys. Take care.
All right, later. And so, no, that makes a lot of sense, because if you are loving someone, I need to trust that me showing you the way that I love and how I receive love, you're going to do a positive, like it's fragile. Y'all remember Fragile? Right? The Christmas story. Look, he couldn't read. It said fragile. However, the way that we love is fragile. And if I'm expressing to you because I love you, hey, baby, this is what I need to get my mind right? This is how I'm receiving love. Can you dig it? And
that Maslow's
hierarchies of needs. Now,
you have to feel secure. You need your basics. That you have to feel protected. You need
I need to know that you hear me. Right?
Yes, I need to know that foundation of security, you're not going to use my love against me. You're not going to hurt me. You're not going to weaponize it. You are going to give me what I need when I make myself vulnerable in love to you.
Yes.
And I tell you what I need, that you are going to feel that. And I'm going to be secure in knowing that you are going to respect that and you are going to be a good steward of that love.
Right. And then
to abuse it.
Yes. Abuse you or me in the way I love, because what happens is sooner or later they gonna stop talking.
Exactly.
Hey now, and look, they gonna stop talking, they gonna stop doing it, they just gonna say, you know what? In the wise words of our leader, it is what it is. because I done gave you everything. Look, I gave you text messages. I gave you smoke signals. Can you dig it? I drew cartoons. I tried to show you what I need. So now apparently it's not computing. So I need to stop being a fool because I'm expecting you to take care of that, because as much as what I'm telling you can lift me up, it can also bring me down if you're not hearing what I'm telling you. Listen, my love tank is right here. Just put it right here. Look, here it is. But here you are going over here and over there and want to know why my love tank ain't being filled. Listen, that's like essentially pouring it on the ground. If I'm telling you my tank here, you pouring over here, what are you doing? Who love is that for? You know what? You're right, y'all. Listen, we got to wrap this on up because that's it, right? But I do see the part 2 and part 3. Listen, listen, yeah, look at it. Listen, so the question is, who are you pouring your love to? You see, listen, if I'm not getting it, if I've been telling you for 45 years, hey, listen, this is how I love to be loved, and you still ain't clicking. Who you loving then? Where your pump go? Where your hose going? You know, let me stop.
There's some songs that I just had going through my mind, but I ain't gonna say.
You see? But that's okay. Look, we might have to do this at another time. But look, Camille, talk about the next show. What we're doing? What's the next show?
Okay, so I saw you guys in this part 2 and part 3 and everything like that. But we really wanted to talk about next week is about comparison. You know, keeping up with the Joneses, how comparison really is the thief of joy. So I hope that you guys will join us next week as we kind of unfold that and how comparison, it can be good sometimes, but a lot of times it's damaging because we don't know how to use that comparison. So stop keeping up with the Joneses. March to the beat of your own drum. Use it as an inspiration. Join us next week.
Right. Yes. Join us next week. Same time, 8 o'clock. Central Standard Time in the morning, okay? Right here on the Sanity Check. And, you know, we might sprinkle some more of that, that love in there, right? Because watch this, some folks, I know, look at it, talking about we need to know. Listen, sometimes we talk about or we want to love other people the way we see other people loving each other. Trying to keep up with the Joneses. Get out of there. Get out their entanglements. Watch this. Hey, get out of their bedroom. Can you dig it? Don't be like, hey, baby, listen, why don't we get somebody else in our bed? Get out the Joneses' bedroom. Anyway, look, we're going to see y'all later. All right. We love you. Y'all take it easy.
Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Have a wonderful Sanity Check Saturday. All right.
Bye.
So there it is. Hey, but that's the truth. That's the truth. Look, that's the truth. Look at your mama put. Hey, listen, that's the truth though. I mean, people be wanting to do other things. Listen, that ain't how. Listen, hey, look, your bedroom ain't set up that way. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. You can't go in every room in your house just because everybody else. Okay, just because it feel good. Listen, something might be wrong with that dough.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Goodness gracious! But no, that was good. I like that one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I've seen 1,000.